A huge ownership twist has just shaken Manchester United, and it could completely reshape the future of the club. After years of frustration under the Glazers, a significant clause has now come into effect that changes the dynamics of power at Old Trafford. Many fans have long dreamed of fresh leadership and new investment, and now a legal mechanism could finally make that possible. But here's the catch. While the door appears to be open, the reality of what comes next may surprise you. Stay with me right until the end, because this update is one every Manchester United fan needs to hear. And before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any breaking news on the Red Devils. The latest reports around Manchester United suggest that the Glazer family are now free to sell their majority stake in the club following the activation of a crucial clause earlier this month. This development has reignited debates about the ownership situation, one of the most divisive issues among supporters in recent years. For many, the Glazers leaving has been the ultimate wish, and now, legally, the conditions have changed. On the 13th of August, a clause within the agreement that brought Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos into Manchester United officially came into effect. This clause, known as the drag-along right, gives the Glazers the ability not only to sell their majority stake, but also to force Ineos to sell the minority 25% stake if they decide to offload the club. In other words, the Glazers now have full power to trigger a complete sale of Manchester United, without opposition from Sir Jim. This clause was built into the February deal that gave Sir Jim control of 25% of the club, including football operations. The idea was that after 18 months, the Glazers could choose whether or not to cash in completely. Now that the time has arrived, speculation about a potential takeover has naturally increased. Fans are already asking, is this the moment when United finally change hands? Despite the legal power now sitting with the Glazers, reports in the Daily Mail suggest that no immediate change is expected. The relationship between Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers is said to be strong and positive, making a forced sale unlikely. In fact, Sir Jim himself admitted at his unveiling that while these clauses existed, he hoped they would remain in the drawer and never need to be used. For him, the partnership was meant to be based on trust and cooperation rather than conflict. Sources close to the club confirmed that Sir Jim and the Glazers get along well, describing them as like-minded individuals. Meetings between the two sides have reportedly been cordial, with Sir Jim even traveling to the United States several times for board discussions. Far from tension, the atmosphere has been described as one of alignment and shared objectives. This suggests that while the power to sell exists, the intention to do so does not, at least not in the short term. This update also reignites memories of Sheikh Jassim's failed attempt to buy Manchester United outright last year. The Qatari banker launched a massive bid worth £4.79 billion for 100% ownership, only to be rejected in favor of Sir Jim's minority stake. At the time, many fans saw this as a huge missed opportunity, as Jassim had promised to clear the club's debt and invest heavily in infrastructure. However, it now appears that those days are firmly in the past. According to sources close to his 92 Foundation, Sheikh Jassim has no interest in revisiting Manchester United. His group is now said to be focused on mega projects elsewhere in global sport, including Qatar's push to host the 2036 Olympics. Buying a European football club is reportedly no longer part of their agenda, meaning that even with the clause active, Jassim is out of the picture. For fans who once saw him as the savior, this will be disappointing news. For now, then, the ownership landscape looks set to remain as it is. The Glazers retain the majority, Sir Jim holds his 25%, and both sides appear content with the partnership. While many supporters will continue to call for full sale, the reality is that the club's leadership seems stable, and both parties appear determined to build on their working relationship rather than end it. Of course, in football, nothing is ever permanent. Circumstances can change quickly, particularly if financial pressures mount or new investors emerge with irresistible offers. The drag-along clause means the legal framework for a sale is now in place, which makes United a more straightforward club to buy if the Glazers ever decide the time is right. In that sense, the clause is a game changer, even if it has not yet been activated. For fans, this development brings mixed emotions. On one hand, the possibility of the Glazers being forced to sell is now more realistic than ever. On the other hand, The lack of current interest from Sheikh Jassim and the strong relationship between Sir Jim and the Glazers makes any immediate takeover unlikely. Supporters desperate for change will therefore have to remain patient. As things stand, the focus for Manchester United must return to matters on the pitch. Ruben Amorim has a squad to prepare, a season to rescue, and big expectations to meet. Ownership debates will never go away entirely, but the most important thing is ensuring that the team compete and succeed where it matters most, in football. Still, the activation of this clause has set the stage for possible big moves in the future, and fans will be watching closely. In conclusion, while the Glazers now legally hold the keys to a potential full sale, the reality is that nothing dramatic is expected in the immediate future. The relationship with Sir Jim is too strong, and Sheikh Jassim has moved on. But the door is open, and the future of Manchester United remains as uncertain and intriguing as ever. So, Manchester United's ownership saga has taken another twist, with the Glazers now able to force a full sale if they wish, but with Sir Jim Ratcliffe on good terms, it looks unlikely for now. Do you think the Glazers will eventually sell? Yes or no? Leave your answer in the comments, because your voice matters here more than ever. You, the fans, are the heart of Manchester United. And wait, before you go, check out the next explosive update on United's future. It's one you won't want to miss.